Hello, today we're going to talk about how to use Amazon Kinesis data streams and data firehose for real-time analytics. So to start off, let's look at some of the documentation here. We get this data into data streams from an application or some process we've set up that produces data. In the Amazon terminology, it's called a producer. It will take that produced data and put it out into a Lambda function or an EC2 instance or a Kinesis data analytics application, which is what we're going to be taking a look at later. If you look at the page for data firehose, it's very similar, except it will put it in, it still gets the data from a producer, but the consumer part of it, instead of invoking a Lambda or putting it in an EC2 instance, it can put it into Elasticsearch, Redshift, or S3. So aside from that, these two are pretty similar. Definitely want to take some time to evaluate which is better for your use case. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to focus today on AWS's data analytics service. So here I am on the Amazon Kinesis dashboard. As you can see, I already have a data stream up and running, so I'll go into that a little bit more later. But I want to show you guys how to create a data stream as well. So to start off, here let's start with create our data stream, and I'll call this TechSnips demo. And if we scroll down a little bit, we see that it's asking us for one input, and that's the number of shards. Now a shard is the rate at which Amazon will consume data. So if I put in one shard, that means I can write up to 1 megabyte or 1,000 records per second, and I can read 2 megabytes per second. And I can scale this as high as I need it to go for my application, but each shard will come with its own cost. So keep that in mind as well. For this demo, I'm just going to use one shard and then click Next. Great, so my stream has been created. I'm going to go ahead and access it now. And we'll see we have different monitoring and tags that we can take a look at while we're using this. We also have our ARN for if we want to reference this in an API or a script or something like that. And we have producers that we can put action to send data to the stream. Now, depending on your application, there are several different ways to do this. I can show you one using the AWS CLI, but this is going to be one of those things you want to look up the documentation and see what fits your use case better. So let's get started on the CLI. So I've got my WSL terminal open on my Windows 10 terminal. Let you know I've already installed the AWS CLI and configured it for use with my account. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and take some time to do that now. I'm going to use AWS Kinesis list streams to see what streams I have available. And it shows my Kinesis Analytics demo stream, which I'll be going more into in just a moment, and the TechSnips demo stream. Let's go ahead and look at our TechSnips demo stream by using AWS Kinesis describe stream, and I'll pass a parameter of stream name TechSnips demo. Great, so I see I have some information on my shards and my ARN, the stream name, as well as some other metrics I can use here. Now keep that shard ID in mind, we will be going back to it later. For now, let's put a record into our stream. I'll use AWS Kinesis put record. I'll pass the stream name again. Partition key, which is basically the ID of the shard that we want to write to. This is not something you have to worry about for the time being, so just put 1. And the data I want to write is hello TechSnips. Great, I've got a confirmation that I've written to the shard. So now let's go ahead and get my record. I have to make sure I have this sequence number, so let's go ahead and copy that down for now. And then unfortunately there's no way to get records from Kinesis directly from the stream. You have to access it from the shard. So what we're going to do, first get our shard iterator. And that will let us know which shard we're accessing with our record in it. So if I use Kinesis get shard iterator, I'll need to pass this 3 parameters. That is the stream name, the shard iterator type, which there are several of these. So go ahead and check the documentation. In this case, since I know my sequence number, I'm going to put my shard iterator type as @sequence, and then I will include the starting sequence number, and that will be my sequence ID. Or excuse me, that will be my sequence number from the previous step. And next I need my shard ID, and I also have that from the previous command, so let's go ahead and paste that in there. And now we can run it. Alright, great, we've got our shard iterator now. Let's go ahead and get the record that's in that shard. So this command is AWS Kinesis get records, and then we're going to pass it the shard iterator. Alright, now we have our sequence number, the timestamp, and the partition key. Great. We don't recognize what's in data though. This is not exactly what we wrote in there to begin with, but that's because part of Kinesis is it uses base 64 encoding for everything it writes. So if I go ahead and run an echo with this data, and then pipe that into base 64, decode it, I can see hello TechSnips. I don't know why it's at the beginning of my prompt here, but there it is. Hello TechSnips in our shard. Now let's go back to our other stream. So as you may remember, I have 2 streams in my demo here. The TechSnips demo, which we use to describe how to put things into a stream using the CLI, and we also have the Kinesis Analytics demo stream. So for the rest of the demo, I'm going to be working in the AWS console and show you how to use the data analytics application to parse that stream, as it's already got stock ticker data streaming to it. Okay, so I'm back in my console here, my AWS Kinesis console, and under Data Analytics on the left selection bar, where I can create an application. Now we'll call this application Stream Parser. And what this is going to do is it's going to consume data from the stream and then aggregate it in a way where we can analyze it in real time. So let's go ahead and connect our stream, and the reason we're using the Kinesis Analytics demo stream here instead of our TechSnips demo is because that is already set up by Amazon for you to be updated in real time. If I were going to have to do the same thing with TechSnips, I would need to write a whole application around that. So let's pick this one for now, and we see we have some options with pre-processing some of these records with Lambda or changing our access. We don't really need that right now, so let's go ahead and skip straight to Discover Schema. There we go. Alright, so it's detected our schema, and it looks like we have a ticker symbol, sector, change, and price. This is a stock ticker after all. And this is how it looks formatted in a SQL-like way. And if we go to raw, we see what's actually in the stream, row by row. So keep that in mind as you're writing your applications. Let's go ahead and save and continue. Great, so that's set up. Let's go ahead and go to our SQL editor. And I'll start the application because it is a lot easier to run this way. This is going to take a few seconds to start up. So let's wait. Alright, our application started, and we see the data coming in real time from our stream. Let's go ahead and scroll here. We see there's a lot of different sectors here, a lot of different organizations. We don't really care about all of them. So let's see if we can filter out just the technology sector. So if I go up here to the Real-Time Analytics tab, it gives me different in-application streams. And these are defined from the SQL queries that you run here. So I've got one here that's going to create a new stream out of all of our data in the other stream, and then filter that based on whether the sector has the word TECH in it. So let's go ahead and run that. Great. So now I have my new in-application stream called Destination SQL Stream. It's only got records coming in from our Kinesis stream. with the sector like tech or technology. All right, that's how we get started with data analytics on Kinesis. Thank you for watching.